Good afternoon. So, dear participants, dear colleagues, dear partners, and dear guests, it's both an honor and privilege to welcome you to the second international symposium, Rebuilding a Place to Call Home, the Future of Spatial Planning in Ukraine. So this gathering of expert professionals and academics brings together valuable knowledge at a time when our work is essential for rebuilding the place many once called home. Facing great challenges, contribution from both local and international partners can guide Ukraine's recovery by offering the tools and approaches needed to handle the complex issues ahead. This symposium serves as a platform for a nuanced exchange of spatial planning as we stand on the edge of large-scale reconstruction efforts. And spatial planning, as we all know, holds the promise to transform and to manage growth, to create a fundamental and resilient urban environment. Yet it has become evident that achieving this ambition aims is often face practical challenges, conflict of interests, political obstacles, and as we experience in Ukraine today, the catastrophic impact of war. The devastation we have faced has been severe. Entire neighborhoods have been razed, and countless homes have been lost. And thus bring us to the unique moment in which spatial planning is not only a tool for growth, but fundamental part of recovering of our national recovery. Today we raised complex questions regarding the path forward. What role should spatial planning play in the recovery? What kind of institutional support and academical input will be necessary to ensure that these efforts are suitable? As educators, as planners and policymakers, we are called to foster the essential knowledge, resources and frameworks required for these monumental tasks. Together, we aim to address this question by drawing an evidence-based policies, insights from international standards and valuable lessons from region with the same experience in the war and rebuilding. Our symposium is structured to address the need and priorities of the planning community in Ukraine, and we are fortunate to be joined by experts who bring the wealth of knowledge from diverse cultural and professional backgrounds. Over the coming day, I encourage all of us to make the most of the session by joining in discussions, sharing knowledge, and thinking about a way to approach the challenges and opportunities we face. As we move ahead, I believe that the experience and ideas shared during the symposium will be important for creating a cohesive and forward-thinking approach for spatial planning in Ukraine. So let's make the most of the chance to work together to build sustainable, inclusive and resilient space for future in Ukraine. So in closing, I would like to express my gratitude for organizing and supporting this event, and special thanks go to Oleksandr Anisimov, an expert and researcher with excellent management skills. Thanks to him, the Kharkiv School of Architecture is hosting the symposium for the second time, and I believe not last time. We are very grateful to UN Habitat Urban Laboratory and the Department of the Built Environment at Aalto University for supporting and involving in this symposium, as well as to Ukrainian Catholic University and Lviv Art Academy for providing us with a venue for our events. So thank you very much for your participation, for your commitment. I wish you productive discussion and look forward to the insights which will emerge from this very productive collaboration in the symposium. Thank you.
Thank you. You can leave the mic. Okay, I'm following the word to Niina Rinne, who is the head of UN Habitat Urban Lab Kyiv. So please take the stage.
Thank you very much and welcome all. My name is Niina Rinne and I'm the acting head of the Urban Lab within the UN Habitat. And fun facts, it's nice to see Aalto University also part of this, as I have been graduating from there, so greetings to home. But now I'm representing UN Habitat, and we are actually quite a new player here in Ukraine. We have been only around a year, a bit more than a year here. And around a year ago, we also established this Ukraine Urban Lab, which is based on our model, which is functioning already at our headquarters. And the Urban Lab is a coalition or a platform for urban planners and architects and experts working in this urban field. And here in Ukraine, we are supporting the recovery planning and how to make it more resilient and sustainable and inclusive. And at the moment, we are active in 8 different municipalities, 8 different romadas, and supporting the municipalities on developing either comprehensive recovery programs or concept of integrated development, which we have also noticed that there is massive need for urban expertise, urban planners and architects to support on this recovery process. And the UN Habitat, we have also teamed up with the local companies like Restart, but as well as Impact and Rosquit and Unitag to bring all these different expertise together, as we think that we are much stronger if we work together and incorporate this international perspective as well as take into the local aspects into consideration, of course. I will keep this short as we have a panel discussion in a moment, and then we can address more what are the risks and benefits of international aid in this recovery context. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm passing the word further on to Dominic Stead, who is a professor at Aalto University, Department of Built Environment, School of Engineering. The school has supported the event, and Dominic, please, do you hear us well? Can you? We don't hear him. Wait a second, they're establishing sound from your connection again.
Okay, how about now?
Super.
Great.
Thanks.
So good afternoon, everyone. I hear a bit of an echo, but nevertheless, I'll continue. Welcome to all the participants there. Welcome to the ones online. And greetings from Aalto University's Department of Built Environment. And we're a very proud co-sponsor of this event. And I'm speaking kind of as co-organizer of this event, but I have to give the most credit to Oleksandr Anisimov for organizing everything. I've been more or less in the background, giving some support and advice. He's been the driving force of organizing this event. So without further ado, welcome everyone. I'm very pleased that this event is taking place, and I'm looking forward very much to hearing everyone's contributions.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you very much. Shall I have my presentation on the screen now? Okay, let's see if it works. Yeah, it does. So I'll just bring you a few moments from the history of this, let's say, idea of meeting in this format. We were extremely honored and happy to be hosted by the PBL Netherlands in 2023 in Hague, where we had an opportunity to contribute to a hugely successful international symposium with a number of speakers all across Europe regarding first and foremost housing, but not only, which set us on this path of creating a longer direction or a longer durée of the event, to create reports, to publish them, to fund additional activities that follow up on the event itself. So we have a very interesting contribution you can read from the first symposium, which was published in 2023. It was followed by a second symposium last year. We chose to look at the land use and spatial planning and housing with a focus on the land policy in Ukraine. We met here in Lviv with a number of experts also from Austria, from the UK, from Ukraine, who were all looking at the issue of land management and land use planning, and how can we drive the thinking towards healthy soils, towards healthy environment, and how to set up financial mechanisms to deliver these results. This was also followed by a report, which is also available at our website. So I welcome you to check it out. And why this topic, why this year? So myself, as a spatial planner, of course, having been on both sides of the planning and research and municipal management, I know the different phases of this. We understand that there is evidently multiple crises of different conditions, and the tasks ahead of us are nowhere at this moment that we can hope to aim for and reach with the current capacities and conditions we have in Ukraine. That's the name, so spatial planning. But I wanted just to give a few brief introductory components to how we framed the problem regarding the symposium. So just a recent paper by Andreas Sorensen and Eve Adams had a conversation regarding how to treat spatial planning in the institutional vein. And I think one of the good contributions is, on the one hand, we understand that spatial planning is an arena. And Iryna has just mentioned that there are so many complications in this arena, how things go on after the plans are committed, after they're developed, how they're developed. And we understand that Ukraine needs capital investment. We will need a lot of funding to rebuild the country, to set up new urban areas, to revamp those that are declining, to refurbish areas that are now endangered in different ways. And if we think about it as an arena, right, there are different interests, and that goes to the discussion that we'll have later today about values in planning and how those values are introduced and set up within this arena. But also, planning talks about institutions. So if planning is in institutions, this is possible to think about planning as being a regulator in some way of how the society functions, how the built environment is envisioned and how it is set up to become. And these rules of the game, and I think in Ukraine at least, we've lost track of thinking of planning as the rules of the game, which we have to negotiate between each other, within the municipality, within our country, within our region, about how do we want to set up those rules of the game to be played out. And the property rights and development potentials are obviously products of previous history, previous developments, which in our case are not very positive. So there is evidently a need to bend the current track somehow, The question is how? So the word the future is, this is the kind of the things that are combined, that understanding that we have those ways of challenging the understanding of spatial planning within the country and the need to do it. I also refer to this is the last paper, just two of them that I refer to, is our paper that is going to be published on Tuesday next week, which talks about establishment of a new spatial planning system, where we treat the current conditions is that Ukraine has undergone a serious transformation process just since a few years ago. And we know that we have a long list of innovations in the spatial planning system. We have different plans, we have different provisions for public involvement, we have different provisions for instruments, it is all digital now, and so on. However, we have also set up a system which has decentralized planning powers, which has decentralized land use governance, which has created a different form of management of land within the country, and they are now in the hands of territorial communes. And territorial communes are now the core unit of spatial planning in the country, and the whole country is now being planned by those communes. So this reciprocal relationship is where we build on in this symposium, and that the municipality and the municipal council and municipal administration are now the most important player, are now the most important actor that we need to work with to establish a quality building environment, to drive investment, to set up ecological requirements, and to implement all of this. And we still have a lot of things on the list that haven't been resolved, and we have a very directive logic of spatial planning documentation in Ukraine that hasn't been revoked or rethought during this reform. And however, we breached, what I believe was a post-socialist path dependence. So we broke out of this chain or of this box. We still need to do a lot more to actually set up a new path towards sustainable environment, towards green, build back better recovery in the upcoming years. So basically, there are four components of the symposium issues, I would say. Where are we right now? So we are mapping out where does things start from, where do we move from. We are mapping out who are the spatial planners, what is their professional standing, what do they do right now, how do we educate these people. We go down into the tools of planning. We think about the instruments that are both formal and informal, things that distribute development rights, set up guidance, locate development in the future. And we also think about the normative dimension of what's going to happen next, how should we act about it. And many of those questions will be put on the table tomorrow as well. So the symposium will continue tomorrow in the form of scientific panels where the papers will be discussed. But we'll also hear a few things today, I hope. Basically, this is all for the introduction. I hope everybody who wanted to tune in, we gave them enough time.